young, the stars are all that care. But you are not far, I can hear your voice call my name.
For example, on King Sejong, you went for that proxy starport into Liberator and eventually Banshee. Oh, gonna do some mineral harass. But I think he just is going to go for that 1-1-1, probably get some, maybe some quick Banshees again. Could potentially do some early...
Just early pressure.
Yeah. Really MaSa's bread and butter. And once again, we see Kelazhur going for that faster expansion.
Yeah, Kelazhur has played an aggressive style, but I think he's always in the matches against MaSa had that sort of idea of, okay, well, this is going to be where I'm going to go after this pressure. Whereas MaSa, I think, a little bit more willing to commit heavily to that pressure and that aggression and saying it's not necessarily about what am I going to do next, it's about just getting some damage done.
Yeah, exactly. And to speak to what we were saying earlier, we do see MaSa going for the much faster factory, Kelazhur going for that faster expand, and we're going to have to see if MaSa can get some damage done. Traditionally, in these previous games, he has been able to get a lot of damage done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you just think about the King Sejong Station game where he proxied that starport, was making all those Banshees over and over and over again, getting the damage done, it was just astounding how much damage was actually getting done. So MaSa could throw out all those kinds of weird, small little tweaks to his build that can throw Kelazhur off. But MaSa moving out with the 2 Reapers and a Hellion that you were talking about.
Yes, and important to note that Kelazhur, while he did go for that Reaper, he's now gone for the Reactor, so he has actually no production on the map. So this could be a very scary moment. Oh, move commanding his Reapers, actually going to lose one right off the bat. This is a big deal.
And he doesn't actually have that next Hellion coming out immediately. In fact, we do have a Cyclone coming out, so it's going to be nice eventually, but luckily for Kelazhur, his natural command center is already finished up. He cannot have that somehow delayed by any way, but the bunker is going to get delayed. In fact, that bunker might even get canceled.
I think he has to cancel that. Yeah, there's the cancel. And we do see the orbital command is still going to get finished up. Obviously, there's not enough damage on 2 Reapers and a Hellion to take it down, but the follow-up is getting pretty scary. I believe that was a medevac coming across the map for MaSa, and really the only thing that kept Kelazhur alive right there was his wall-in.
Oh, man. And Steadfast, I'm just looking at the production tab, I'm looking at the supply, and you just see Starport. Oh, Cyclone going to be able to get some good damage done. Kelazhur want to micro that well, but of course the Starport for Kelazhur is only just now finishing up. He's getting out another Cyclone, but it just feels like Kelazhur's behind.
Cancels the, cancels the lock-on right there. Really nicely done by MaSa.
Yeah, and of course he's going to push on forward. The Cyclone is still trying to get some damage done, but as you said, canceling that lock-on once again. But I'm sure the Kelazhur is looking for the lock-on the medevac. If we can get that lock-on the medevac...
again! It didn't even get a shot this time.
Oh, man. MaSa is starting to bleed out some of the units over here, though. The Reapers, it's very difficult to micro those. And
is he going to get that scan for it?
He does
Beautiful
get it.
pickoff.
One Reaper does unload and tries to go back home to report the details of how much that attack did not go super well.
And all of a sudden, we see Kelazhur up almost up 14 army supply. Even trades, but with Kelazhur getting that much faster natural expansion and retaining a lot more units, he is going to be feeling very good at this point. Up 10 supply in an early game TVT.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried as the Starport was so much later, but as you were saying that earlier, Command Center does give him that really nice advantage. But now he has to prepare for the Banshee tech, and what exactly does Kelazhur have? Cloak is going to be finishing up on time as well, and I don't really know if Kelazhur actually has a lot of missile turrets down. He does have the Cyclones alive, and he's going to want to probably split those up properly.
Oh, moving out for a drop. Actually, he needs those Marines back home. The turret is not going to finish. He does have scans available, so he's kind of gotten wise a little bit. Oh, that scan was way too early.
Yeah, but he will be able to finish up the missile turret now. So it's almost like a safety scan. You allow yourself to finish up that missile turret and just going to try and do some counter damage on the other side of the map.
Sieging up this tank could be huge for Kelazhur. Oh, the SCV is coming off the line, taking huge damage.
Banshee also doing some good damage on the other side of the map. 5 workers have gone down for Kelazhur, but 7 going down right now for MaSa, who was already in a weird economic position, but somehow it's 31 to 31 workers.
Yeah, but that army supply is so significant in Kelazhur's favor. He is really in a nice position to start this game out.
Yeah, I think the difference in that attack was that the Banshee killed off some workers, but for Kelazhur, he did the drop, and those siege tanks and the Marines were actually killing off other army units and the workers.
Yes, and now this is important to note. MaSa does have a third command center, so he has a comeback mechanism in this matchup, as well going for a couple Vikings first, which we've seen in these previous TVTs. Whoever has gotten air control has really taken a dominating position in those early fights.
Oh,
even
absolutely.
just 3 to 5 Vikings has been a huge difference maker.
Oh, absolutely, because with that air superiority also comes vision, and whether that be vision of the high ground or whether that be just vision of your opponent's army, as they don't actually have too many units that can actually attack those Vikings, you get the vision for your siege tanks.
This is a huge YOLO move coming in from Kelazhur. Oh, but the Vikings are there, and he is not going to drop into that.
MaSa knows the YOLO Terran is absolutely fearless, so he sets up the Vikings in the right place. Oh, Kelazhur needs to drop that out. He doesn't drop out with siege, he loses both of them.
Oh, one shot on both.
Oh, no.
MaSa keeps them alive, but this does provide coverage for the drop going into the main.
And now Kelazhur going to try and get some damage done over here. He's lost so much, he has to counteract the damage that he just took, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to. The Banshee plus the Vikings, both enough to actually push back that medevac drop. Kelazhur going back home with his head shaken low.
That one Marine getting citizens arrested there at the top of the map. We do see this this third command center is actually putting MaSa quite ahead in workers right now. He's up by 6 workers, and that's going to continue to widen the gap as long as they both stay on top of the worker production, which they will, because let's be honest, they're both Gozus.
Yeah, armory also coming down right now for Kelazhur as he does get close to finishing up that +1 weapons upgrade for those Marines. Going to give him a nice little edge. Of course, MaSa's not too far behind, but it really is about the fact that Kelazhur's going to be prepared to start up the 2-2 upgrades pretty soon.
Yeah, important to note, though, it is going to be 1-1 for MaSa, so it's the double engineering bay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The armory, or the armor upgrade also went up for MaSa.
Yeah, and Kelazhur actually looks like he may have neglected to build his +1 armor,
Yeah, didn't get that second engineering bay down, so going to be a sort of weird spot where Kelazhur going to theoretically get ahead eventually, but for now, going to be seeing down that armor upgrade.
Yes, and we do see him start that up. Cyclones going to be doing a bit of a harass here.
Killing one SCV, and I was like, oh, right, we take forever to walk onto something.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have a 3 Viking, 2 tank-evac drop. And MaSa doing actually some nice little chip damage to Kelazhur. Oh, dropping a little bit far forward.
Wow.
This is YOLO Terran once again.
You know what? I love the idea, but he is now going to be up against 2 siege tanks that are up on his high ground, and he's dropping around to the other side. Does he actually have the units to clean this up right now?
I don't believe that he does, but MaSa, but the double missile turret.
Oh, it's not enough. The YOLO Terran doesn't care if he gets down to next to no health hit points on those medevacs. He's going to try and get the damage done right now. Medevacs are healing up those units, and MaSa is going to stem on top of them, taking both of them out, removing the sustainability of this drop, but MaSa has done more damage.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, MaSa finds himself very far ahead, up 10 workers and 15 army supply, as well as having 1-1 to that 1-0 of Kelazhur.
What is Kelazhur going to do now? He's been making a lot of these risky maneuvers, even sometimes when he's playing from a bit of an ahead spot, and it has turned this game into a really weird place. But we do have that 2-1 upgrade coming out right now for Kelazhur. The armory was already finished up, and no armory, I don't think, down for MaSa as far as I can tell just yet.
Oh, he actually forgot combat shields until just now. And if he... If he does not fight, he needs to make sure he doesn't fight without combat shields. Yeah. Oh, actually, wow, Kelazhur also forgetting his combat shields.
Armory was finished up for MaSa. Starts up that 2-2 upgrade. My mistake, but Got the Vikings out for Kelazhur. I think that MaSa does have the Viking lead right now, though.
I believe it's, yeah, he's up by 1, and actually Kelazhur are going to lose one of his Vikings right here, maybe even another one.
Oh, that'd be a really big deal.
wow.
Is he going to lose all of his Vikings? No, last Viking does get home to tell the tale. The last Viking is going to be a lost Viking. Gets taken out.
Loses it, and this is actually a really scary position for MaSa. If he can kind of take over that ramp, or even just go straight to the third. Oh, this is a great decision.
I mean, what is Kelazhur going to do about it? All he can do is really just hope that this one siege tank can hold the line, but he is up against 3 of his opponents. He's dropping his siege tanks on the high ground, but again, MaSa has the air superiority. The medevacs are chased off by the Vikings. Kelazhur can no longer reposition those siege tanks, and the command center ends up falling.
Oh, and Kelazhur are going to try and snipe down some of these Vikings, but a big stim there that didn't really achieve much, and losing that command center hurts so much. Oh, going to drop on top of the tanks right here. Could take both of them out.
He is going to take both of them out steadfast, and I think with it, he takes a 60 supply lead almost. Now on top of the production for Kelazhur. Kelazhur has some harassment going on inside the main base of MaSa, but it looks like it gets cleaned up. And it seems like MaSa is just doing a little bit too well right now for Kelazhur to handle.
Yeah, and big siege tank shots from the low ground right here. And MaSa is just dominating Kelazhur, saying, oh, it's fine, you can come from Brazil, but this is my home turf. This is Canada.
You know, he jokes that Toronto has no effect on him, but I have to disagree. MaSa is just looking so strong, and game number 1 goes to MaSa.